Hey everyone! Welcome back to Cleaning Business Life. My name is Shannon Miller and I am your host today. And today I am going to share a story about being at the pool. I was actually at the pool the other day in mom mode, right? Just checking out everybody, watching the pool, watching the lifeguards, doing the mom thing. And this girl came walking past the front of the Ramada where I was sitting, and I was like, oh my God, I have not seen a pair of those since I was a kid. And what they were 1970s flip-flops, and they were rainbow flip-flops. And I was like, God, I have not seen those in forever. And the rainbows weren't like the traditional rainbow colors like they are today. You have the green, the purple, the blue, the yellow, the orange, the red. That's rainbow. This is 70s rainbow. So there was brown and then a darker brown and maybe even a darker brown and then a lighter brown and then a lighter brown and then maybe a cream color if you were lucky. And I remember my dad used to take us to like the supermarket or the drugstore at the time, and we'd get one pair of flip-flops for the whole summer. And usually you would wear them out by the end of summer because we were out on the boat a lot. And I stopped her. I'm like, wow, where did you get those? And she's like, I got them off Amazon. I'm like, I'm going to check that out. But they were retro flip-flops. I was absolutely shocked. They were not on my radar. I wasn't thinking about it. And the second that I saw them, I was like transported back in time. It was really an interesting thing. Then I thought about OP shorts. OP shorts only came in blue and brown and an off-white color. You can look those up, OPs. They were made out of corduroy from what I remember. There was ditto pants, ditto jeans, and they were like flared at the bottom. They call them, I don't remember what bell bottoms are called now. The flared or, whatever, bells. And they had this big U on the back of the butt, and my grandmother would say, hey, looks like a horse kicked you in the ass. Are you sure you want to wear those? And I would just laugh. My grandma was pretty blunt. And then there was the chemin de fers, which was the premium jean right before Jordache. So at the same time Jordache was coming out, chemin de fer was there. And I believe chemin de fers were even a higher price point. And my mother was like, I am not spending that money on those jeans. You'll never have a pair. And I thought I was going to die if I didn't get a pair, right? And then this kind of brought back another memory, and I am going somewhere with this story. It was my middle school uniform. And for those of you who don't know, I went to Hazel Avenue Christian Academy in 7th and 8th grade. And the school uniform was marigold yellow and royal blue. And you couldn't wear pants. And young girls were required to wear culottes because we like to be on the monkey bars, right? And for those of you who do not know what culottes are, it's a hybrid mix of a skirt and a pair of pants. They were absolutely popular in the late 70s and early 80s. I thought they were the most hideous things that anyone in fashion had ever invented. So my mom wasn't trying to torture me. She wasn't trying to embarrass me. She was just doing what was required for me to attend the school at the time. And it was the required uniform. So I remember just being mortified that my mom, made my uniform, which I would be so appreciative today if my mom made me clothes. Such a better quality, such a better fit if we all had seamstresses like in the days. But so if you're too young and you don't remember what a culotte is, I'm going to spell it so you can stop the podcast right here and you can actually go and search what these hideous things look like. It's spelled Culottes. Total fashion faux pas. And thankfully, I don't think they've ever resurfaced back into fashion. So go ahead, wait. Seriously. Just go ahead and pause if you need to. Hopefully you've had enough time to look on your phone. Now, imagine these culottes in a marigold yellow and royal blue color on Shannon's little body. Exactly. So now you understand. I was convinced that I looked like the lunch rush in the 1970s McDonald's restaurant. And my middle school brain, this was a catastrophe. This was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to be forced into wearing this uniform. It wasn't just a minor inconvenience, it was a fashion disagreement. And I was absolutely embarrassed that anyone would consider or want to make me wear this hideous set of clothing. I was just like, oh my God, this was awful. So it was a full blown social catastrophe. And I was absolutely mortified. And this is where the story gets ridiculous. Because if this actually happened today, I'd probably wear a pair. I would snap some pictures and go, ha 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 ha. But you have to remember, my middle school brain was like, I'm not wearing that on the bus. I had to take the bus, the public transportation. It was an hour and a half in each direction, which meant that I got up at like 5 a.m. So I devised a plan. So I took my uniform and I would roll it up. And then I would shove it in there with my books. So when the books obviously would go on the bottom, the uniform would go on the top. Because if you had a wrinkled uniform, you'd get in trouble too. There were also stipulations with the uniform, like your culottes could not go above the knee, and they would make you like get on your knees and your skirt had to touch the ground. And in the top of your, for those of you who went to private Christian academy or Catholic school, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The V in your shirt could not be more than 3 fingers deep. So if you had small little petite fingers, I wasn't allowed to wear anything low cut. Not that I was concerned at that time. It was just a requirement of the uniform. So every single day for 2 whole years, 5 days a week, I did the same ritual. I got up early, put on regular clothes, got on the bus, took the bus to the school, immediately ran into the bathroom because I wasn't allowed to be on school campus without being in uniform. And you could get in trouble for that. So I got there, immediately changed, put on my school uniform, and then I would say the hellos or run off to class or do whatever. And then I would spend the whole day in school in my uniform. And then I would go back to the bathroom, and I had to make sure I caught my bus because if I missed the bus, I wouldn't get home for like 3 more hours because the next bus was later. And so I would hurry up, roll up my uniform, shove my books in there, and I would take the bus home an hour and a half in the other direction to get back to my house. And then I would walk in the door and I'd have regular clothes on. And I did this for a long, long time. So wearing street clothes was like a thing of me hiding. It was a big deal. I thought, oh, I'm going to die if any of my friends see me. And this is the part where it really got me thinking about the flip-flops, the Schmendefers, the Ditto jeans. Why? Why did I care so much what other people think, right? Why was I willing to spend all that time and energy hiding from a pair of culottes? I mean, if you think about it, that was a lot of effort. I mean, to get up early, put on street clothes, change when I got there, catch the bus before it left, change out of the culottes, the whole deal. And why did I think so strongly about what other people think? Something to ponder, right? For those of you who are out there working and listening. And I think the answer is really simple. It's at that age, I was just trying to fit in and survive, right? Just fit in, assimilate. We must assimilate. Since I'm dating myself, might as well go full-fledged, right? We don't want to stand out. We don't want people talking about us. We don't want to be different. And somehow my brain became convinced that marigold yellow and royal blue culottes were going to be the thing that made me stand out. It was, I didn't see anyone else wearing them. It was just me on the bus. Everyone else was wearing street clothes. So I was like, no way, it's never happening. It's not going to happen. And the thing that would make everyone notice me or judge me was of great concern. Now, here's the funny part. If I came across marigold yellow and royal blue culottes and I shimmied into them, I'd probably snap a picture and put it on Instagram because I just don't care, right? And I haven't thought about the culottes in decades. But when I saw those flip-flops, it brought back all of those memories. And I hope that there's a good run on them because I actually thought that those were the coolest thing since butter on bread when I was a kid. So today, I just wanted to tell the story of my marigold and royal blue culottes. And I stopped caring what other people's opinions are of me. And that's where I think the story becomes a bigger middle school uniform. Because we still do this as adults, right? We try to please our family. There's 6 degrees of separation. We can talk about that on another episode. Circle of influence. We can also talk about that on another episode. We hide from different things as adults, as business owners, right? We hide from prices because we're worried about what people will think, right? We don't post videos because we're worried about being judged. I've put some doozies out there. I'm like, oh my God, that was awful. And they're still out there. I think when Facebook wasn't carrying the videos anymore, that gave me an opportunity to download all my videos. I don't think I ever did. I think they're just deleted. I think they're maybe on the internet land. We don't start businesses because we're afraid of failing in public. I got notes here so I can keep on track. And we don't apply for opportunities because we're afraid someone might say no. There's a lot of things that we don't do because we're still concerned about fitting in, right? Different outfit, same fear. And if I'm being honest, all this time with cleaning business owners, what you think of me is none of my business, right? You don't want to be concerned about what others think about you. And I actually came up with that mantra probably about 20 years ago. I have family where I live in town. And it wasn't until I started to be successful was when my family was like, yeah, that's my cousin, or, that's Shannon, we're relatives. I didn't get any support. They were just like, you're crazy. This is not going to work. Why don't you go get a real job, right? So, and the older I get, I realize something that most people are far too busy to be concerned about what I'm doing. So there's that too. So they're worried about their own insecurities. They're worried about their own problems, their own version of their own marigold and royal blue culottes. And what's your version of culottes, right? If you had to put culottes on today, what color would you pick? Would you pick like lime green and brown? Would you pick apple red? I mean, there's so many different things that people wore in different fashion eras. It's embarrassing. I've seen some photos. I'm like, let me wear that? And I thought it was the greatest thing. I was like, new clothes, look at me. And I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe my mom let me wear it. Or she made it for me because my mom was quite the seamstress. So what's the one thing that you're carrying around, the one thing that you're hiding from? Really give that some thought. Like, some of us need to give ourselves permission. We have to give ourselves permission to hire. We have to give ourselves permission to expand, to open up in another market. We give ourselves permission to buy another business. We give ourselves permission to take on a business partner. That's always a interesting thing. We won't talk about that here today. I haven't really thought about those culottes until I saw the retro flip-flops at the pool. And I'd probably give it the chance. I'd probably put them on and walk around and see if they still felt as comfortable as I remembered as a kid. So what changed? The culottes didn't change. The colors didn't change. The uniform didn't change. Well, I'm hoping if anyone goes to Hazel Avenue Christian School, if it's still around, I'm hoping that the uniform has changed. I'm praying on it. I changed, right? Your level of BS becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. And when that happens, it's just, you just keep on marching on. It's tunnel vision. So we don't hide from culottes anymore. We hide from different things. And we don't raise our prices because we're worried about what people will think, right? We don't post videos because we don't want to have anyone judge us. And those are big concerns. I hear it all the time from people. So don't get me wrong, be a good person. I want to treat people well and be a good person myself. And I want to do the right thing, right? But I can no longer spend my life rearranging myself around other people's opinions. Super important. Again, it goes back to what you think of me is none of my business. And maybe that's a lesson the culottes were trying to teach me all along, and I just wasn't my adult Shannon self, right? I have to admit, it took me a long time to get here. So if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, please leave us a review. It tells the algorithm gods that we are worthy. And we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.